welcome to the Dope and Tape Show. So this is a little super different. This is the first time, episode 80. We're pumped. I mean, we've been 80 freaking episodes, and we've been doing this since December, right?
December.
First
Yeah.
episode was December.
Yep.
And this is the first time that me and Bobby are together, which is really cool, exciting. All this, we talk every day, but it's over the phone, and we see each other over Zoom twice a week, unless we have like a business meeting about how we can do this and get better here and this, and then that's still over Zoom. So it's super cool to see all like what he's got going on with his computer, and on Instagram as well as LinkedIn. I kind of gave you a little behind the scenes of what's going on here, and there's a lot. So I understand now why I open the show every time, because he has music, and then he's moving the chats around, and he pulls up YouTube, and I'm like, there's so much going on. I'm happy to be on this side where all I have to worry about is talking, So today, for episode 80, we wanted to be super special, and I know we tried to get Drew on. I think it was last week, but then Bobby had to work overnight. I think he was working a double, so. Work happens.
No, you also got. I think I added schedule for July too, and then I pushed, so that's my bad. But hey, 80's
anyway,
one of my lucky
Drew,
numbers.
Within
So
Spec Point, happy to have you on here. And this is a big episode 80, first episode of us together, and we're happy to have you. And you have a podcast as well, right?
yeah. Well, first, congratulations, guys. I mean,
Oh,
80 episodes. That's crazy. I mean, I've been doing the podcast for probably almost 4 years, 3 to 4 years, and we're only at 50. So, you guys, bypassed us pretty quickly.
So from the get-go, our plan was to pump as much content as possible. Just pump it. We're pushing a community, and I know that you're a part of the community now. And welcome.
I've been doing.
You share stuff with us on Instagram, and you interact. But with that said, I think, geez, I lost my train.
Yeah, I forgot when I found you guys. I think I found you guys in like April, or again, obviously it was through Instagram, I think, and then, I think I saw, is it Quentin or Shaggy? Well, I forgot what's his real name.
Quentin.
Quentin, yeah. He came on and
Shaggy.
Yeah, he goes
yeah, Shaggy. Yeah. He's probably a local 669 guy, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he tagged me or us, and then I was like, oh wow, these guys are doing something that's really innovative and fun, and nobody else is doing it, not even close. I haven't even seen it in another trade. So yeah, kudos to you guys.
So how this started, I know I told this story before and stuff, but just kind of in case of a conversation, about November-ish, I sent out 2 technicians at 2 separate times to go check out a hotel. And it was dropping pressure, and then the fire pump, not the fire pump, but the jockey pump would kick on, and then the pump would kick on, and then we have water flows because the fluctuation of water pressure. And then I kept sending guys out, and then the general manager of the hotel was like, Brian, listen, like, you sent out 2 guys out here, you're sending me trip charge and hourly cost, and nothing's fixed. I was like, all right, cool, no problem, I'm on my way. So I was out there, and I was looking and investigating, and I ended up calling, I don't know if you know this, but you can just call people on Instagram. You go to messages,
really?
Call. And so I called Bobby, and Bobby was like he was working up in Boston. He just saw me calling him. He answered. He's like, hello?
Oh, that's
like, hey,
hilarious.
Man, I'm a sprinkler guy. I'm trying to get some help. What do you think? He said, all right, cool. So I went over it, and I ended up figuring it out. It was a small check valve on the discharge side of the jockey pump. The little brass check was causing all these problems. But I called him that night, and I was like, hey, I really appreciate this. And I think that this is a hole that our industry has. We do not have a community to go to ask questions. You only ask questions to people you know, not this huge umbrella of professionals. And that's what we set out to start. So now that I remember what I was saying, we started out 3 episodes a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
That's
Tuesday,
crazy.
Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just to get it out there.
That's nuts. It's a good way to do it, and you guys do it live too, which is impressive.
Yeah, well, the funny story about us going live is that we couldn't like I didn't know how to edit. I couldn't figure out how to like record the Zoom and then like edit it all fancy. But I knew how to go
Right.
live and just grab the Zoom screen. So here we are.
And then
Yeah.
also time, because I work nonstop and then Bobby works, so we're just trying to do this, save time. We both have families and kids, so this is the
Yep.
best way to do it. Boom,
Yeah.
we got the footage, we got the
Nah.
audio, send it.
You guys are on a red couch sitting together
On a red
Orlando,
couch. Have you seen this movie before?
in Orlando, Florida.
I'm doing audio checks right now because we're on resort Wi-Fi. It does maybe seem like the audio sounds good. It might be skipping a little bit, or maybe it's just on my end. But how's it look in the chat? Welcome everybody. I see your comments. It's a little bit different than normal, but we're happy to have you. Thanks for joining us.
So you're in Spec Point, you have your podcast, you're on communities. I mean, you're super involved. But where did it all start?
So I went to school for industrial engineering in upstate New York, and then had a couple job offers. It was a tough time in the early 2000s getting a job. So it was between Disney World, working at a paper mill, and
Whoa.
then this company called Tyco. And I was like, oh, this is cool. They do different stuff, and they did like medical stuff. They were a lot bigger than they are now. Like at least, they were the number one producer of like acetaminophen or something like that. So I was like, oh, and there was like a leadership program that they throw you around the country. So I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And, got that gig. They moved me to Houston, Texas, like literally 2 weeks after I graduated. And then, they're like, hey, here's this valve, figure out, the problems with the assembly line. And it was the Tyco DP1 dry valve. Lot of issues with quality control back in the early 2000s. It was a great design for the valve. It's just how they were manufacturing it. So that was my first step in.
Reset?
Yeah, that was the external reset.
Yeah.
They were casting it. The castings were coming over from overseas. They just weren't great. So again, I had no idea what the valve did. I just knew how to put it together, obviously with the team. And kind of that's what kicked off, fire protection, which is kind of crazy. That was 20 years ago this January.
So
which is
obviously,
wild.
20
to do
years.
all
Yeah.
the things that you're
I'm
doing.
not that old.
I mean, you're passionate about that. So what was was there a turning point that like stands out to you that you're like, I got the bug. Like I love this industry.
So I moved around through Tyco, moved to like Reno, Nevada. I worked in a valve plant there. It wasn't fire protection. Then I moved to Arizona. I was manufacturing sprinkler pipe there, and then didn't really know what it did. I just knew how they had the coating on the inside to prevent corrosion, which was, I'm not gonna get in trouble. It's kind of a hoax. But it was a marketing technique back then. Anyway, so I was playing, some sales guys were playing in a golf thing, and they're like, hey, we need a fourth or whatever. So I went out and I think we placed or won or something like that.
Whoa.
And they're like, yeah, you're not in engineering anymore. You're in sales. So they tossed me into sales, did that for a little bit, and then 2008 hit. Shut a piece of the plant down, and there was a job selling Tyco sprinklers, valves, the whole thing in New York City. So I had to move across the country. Got thrown to the wolves in New York City, and that's really where I dug into it, because it's like, it's the biggest city in the U.S. and work with the FDNY a lot. It was really cool. But that's what really got me kind of driven into fire protection. But that was about almost 10 years later.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
What a freaking ride, man.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is weird.
And 5 years with
Weird sitting
Tyco,
next to
then I went to Viking for a few years.
Usually I see you in a bubble,
And then we got an idea. I went to school with some guys in upstate New York, and they were always tossing it. They were software guys, and they were tossing some ideas out. Hey, if you ever have an idea for software, let's get together. And we had there was a fire protection company up there in upstate New York that I sold product to them, and they were friends with them from high school, and it kind of all clicked. And that was probably 8 years ago. And yeah, it was wild. And we kind of just did it on the side for a few years. And finally we had to all right, this is a real thing. So we pretty much all quit our day jobs and kind of gambled on it. And yeah, it was crazy. It was fun. It's still a lot of fun,
That's a big gamble.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, I quit my job with Viking, and nice paying job. Viking's great company. Still work with them tremendously. 2 weeks later, after I quit, my wife gets pregnant with twins. So I was like, oh, I got to make this happen, I guess.
Yeah.
And she had a great job, which helped out a lot in the early days, and then obviously it took off from there. So.
Oh.
That's awesome. And so, y'all have been making waves. So ever since we started this show, I would say so we started December, around April is when people would start asking our opinions for things. And now it's more and more. Like, we get DMs, direct messages from everywhere daily. Hey, what are your thoughts here? Or me as in sales, in consulting, like, hey, what's your opinion here? How would you attack this? Where are you getting this? But we're here, and hey, what do you think about Inspect Point? What do you think about Inspect Point? What's your opinion on Inspect Point?
Yeah, you guys are buzzing.
So
right
y'all are making waves. Y'all are making waves. Whatever you're doing, it's not quiet, and keep doing it.
Let's go.
It's called guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
Get out the way.
But the team's great. Everybody that I'm communicating with from Inspect Point's great.
We talked to Marvette. We were at. Last night.
They just signed up with us.
Hung out with us at Universal, and she's using Inspect Point, so they're rocking with that.
She's in the chat right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Raquel.
What's up, Raquel?
We got Sprinkler Life in here. What's up, dog?
Whoa, that's wild. He's never came.
Don't forget to hit the like button while you're here. Share it if you want. Make sure you're subscribed. So I don't know if anybody knows. This is if you're just joining us. This is Drew Slocum he's actually the Fire Protection Podcast, Inspect Point. We're here live in AFSA. What do you got? Oh, he's
just a koozie. It's blurring it out, but there it is.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
censored.
They're censoring
it. Zoom. You guys have the filters on Zoom, must be.
Yeah.
Don't show that. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody, if you follow us, support the industry and go follow him and his podcast as well. And listen.
Yeah, we got some good stuff coming out. I've got the sprinkler testing dying laboratories coming on soon. Fire protection podcast, Chris Logan. I thought Chris was going to pop up behind the couch or something.
I think he's just busy tonight. We talked to him today, and he was like, "Yeah."
Well, we were originally going to room together, but then we didn't. And so if we were, he obviously would be here. Shout out to Chris Logan at the Fire Sprinkler Podcast.
We miss you.
That's
we
our
miss
buddy.
you in the condo.
Right.
We're exclusively with Drew Slocum right now.
Well, it's funny. I talk to him quite a bit because we bounce ideas off of each other because he's more sprinkler oriented. I try to do everything fire, like alarm, extinguisher, a variety. I think I'm doing a children's book review next month for Fire Safety Month.
Whoa. Which,
I don't know. It's a different idea, right? Try to do something in Fire Safety Month, which is October.
You're doing a fire sprinkler children's book?
I can't find a fire sprinkler kids book, but I can find a bunch of them about smoke detectors, fire safety plans, something to read to kid at night, right?
Okay, yeah.
So, and I want to get them on to talk about the book, and it's usually firefighters.
ep80 to bed.
Yeah.
That's what I did for years.
We're reading 13 tonight, kid.
Yeah, there you go. No pictures tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're hoping to link up with the team tomorrow at the booth. What booth are you at? Do you know?
I should know that, huh?
I should know that. We'll find you.
Yeah, we'll find
Yeah,
you, and we're gonna do an interview and talk about it. My big thing is the whole. I would say with building reports. You're familiar with building reports. It's very big.
But they're still in business?
Huh? Yeah. Who is they? So they're big. They're super expensive, and then they also have a barcoding system. And then, but what they're difficult on, you either catch it in the very beginning. But if you're doing 5 years internals, 3-year full flow tests, anything that's outside of the realm of an annual inspection, it kind of gets a little complicated. But you have to do your scans and do it correctly from the beginning or the end, or it's all messed up. How is your inspect point with those 5-year annual?
Yeah, so we're a bit different. We're more of a workflow platform, and it's very customizable. They've been in the market for a bunch of years. They're more of an inventory-based system. So for extinguishers, by the way, why do you have an extinguisher in front of you guys? You guys are spectator
it's
guys.
what we found in the room, so it's a prop.
It has a dope and tape sticker on it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Now it's out. It's out of code now. You got to write up a deficiency.
I went looking for like some kind of sign that I could put behind us because I like signs, but this was in the closet, so we'll have to do.
That's funny. It's in the closet. Yeah, there's another deficiency.
Is it
Anyway,
not supposed to be in the closet? There's a little door on the. There's a little sign on the door that says there's a fire extinguisher in here.
If there's a door, yeah, that makes sense. I thought it was just like under a bunch of clothes or something,
Booth 517.
517.
Marvet Fire with the. Oh, we got Jeff in here for transparency. I work at Inspect Point. Still, Drew is just a good dude, real solid.
That's
What's
pure,
up, Jeff?
right. He's a firefighter.
Oh, it's Donnie. Donnie named himself Sprinkler Life.
Just claim him because he can.
Anyway, sprinkler nerds. I know who you are.
Back to your bill reports thing. So, it works on heavy inventory. Extinguishers, fire alarm. I don't think it works that well for fire alarm because how are you going to scan something that's 20
That's
feet
funny
there?
because it was originally created for fire alarm.
Yeah, so, the
so
trick
what they do is
you,
get a pole and
Yeah.
then they have a scanner that's a Bluetooth, and then you push it up there and then you try to scan it, and that's how you do it. Or you bring a ladder.
or why don't you just trust the technician doing the work and say you passed it, right? I don't know.
Well, you can't do that because it counts scans, and then
I know.
and then that's another thing. That's another downside too, because if insurance gets involved and you get audited, and then the auditor is really good and he goes in depth with building reports, he'll see was this scanned, was this not scanned, was this scanned, was this not scanned, and then all that you can imagine will come up in the court.
Oh yeah, and sprinklers, it's really crazy because do you scan a gauge? Do you scan a valve? Do you scan, what do you scan? So we're not like that. It's you go to a wet system, you're there. You can scan it if you want. You can scan the whole platform, all the pieces, but you don't have to, right? It's not required. But we give you all the credentials and kind of question sets per NFPA 25, or whatever you're utilizing locally. And it's essentially a question set there. With their system, there's no question set. You go there, you're there. Well, you got to know what to do. Well, we kind of give you the details from 25 and even, some of the hyper details of the code, right? So again, it's a workflow, and fire extinguisher or fire sprinkler is different than fire alarm. That's different than fire extinguisher. The technician, fitter, inspector sets are a little bit different, and for extinguishers you got to get in and out of there, right? Otherwise you're not making money. So there's I think scanning works there, and we have some pretty cool scanning features, but it's not required. We don't charge. It's a pretty simple model for pricing. I'm sure people have seen it out there, but yeah, that's the biggest thing. And then we connect to a lot of different platforms. We have an integration coming up with a compliance engine. We integrate with accounting platforms. So it's
so are y'all with compliant engine now?
It's almost done.
Okay. That's huge, and compliant engine is still really new too. I think the AHJs are still getting used to the compliance engines. They like it. I'm a OK fan. I like the concept.
Why okay? Why okay?
I'll explain that. So I like the concept, okay? But not to throw anybody on the bus, but I also live in Atlanta. And I know that there's not just in Atlanta, but areas that there's some lazy inspectors, and I've called and I've had conversations, but having that iPad can sometimes keep them from going into the building and actually looking. And that's why I'm okay. Like I want you to see it. I want you to be hands on. I don't want you just to look at an iPad and be like, all right, we're good. I'm gonna go to the next one. It can cause.
I heard that. I haven't heard that comment in a while. I heard it actually in New York a little bit because New York was teasing the idea, and they're like, well, we want the power of the fire inspector from the department or the HJ being there gives some clout to the actual annual or 5-year that's happening, right? If you don't have them there, then is the owner going to do the work?
Yeah.
Anyway, that I haven't heard that point. That's a good one though.
Yeah, that's just kind of the hole I see. I mean, it can create laziness.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, definitely not in fire protection.
So,
speaking of creating things and new what is it? Not abductions. What is it called? Was the clicking?
Yeah,
I wasn't clicking. I was opening,
squeezing the fucking thing.
Yeah, just relax. All right. So
Next
that's
to
why
the
I like
mic.
to have.
I can hear it going through everyone can hear you.
I'm not
the
used
mic.
to this when we're not
You're
together.
all in my space, bro.
When we're together, it's like you can just take stuff away from me. you're done. He's like,
give me that water bottle. What are you doing?
I like this. Do two together. It's
yeah, this is great. I like it
us
too.
all day. So, are you familiar with NFPA 241?
You guys brought it to my attention more. I knew about it. It happened I knew it was big in Boston. Obviously, Bobby knows that really well. They started to implement it in New York City, so I was heavily involved with it there. Actually tried to come up with a product to kind of compete against United, because United has those little packs, right?
Packs, the standpipe pack.
Yeah, they're great, and it happened while I was in New York, and Boston had it before, so it's been over 10 years. But I didn't know about really 241 kind of revisited until you guys brought it up, actually.
Well, yeah, it's taken over in Boston. It's spreading to some of the bigger cities, but it's a standard that everybody should be implementing, and it's kind of just lost in translation with the AHJ and the permitting process, where a fire sprinkler permit should not be approved unless there is a 241 plan presented with it.
To protect the guys in the building during construction.
Yeah, in the building. Like any building that's over 40 feet should have a temp standpipe, and if you're in a space that had sprinklers that were active when you walked in, they should be active when you walk out. It doesn't matter if they're taking the ceiling down; the head's got to go up, or you can't leave.
Right. And we all know that fires happen on job sites. Have you ever put one out? I put one out.
No, I mean, if there's a fire on the job site, I want to blow the air horn.
Oh,
you know?
No, I got a fire extinguisher.
You want to just hold that long air horn, that long blast. You don't ever want to do that?
It's just standpipe, right? It's not temporary sprinklers, right?
What is it?
It's not temp sprinklers. It's temporary standpipe.
The temporary standpipe, but so like when I do the hospital work, for instance, they'll take over like a whole floor, and they're going to redo the floor, usually to new patient rooms. And so what happens is I'm the first one in there after all the furniture's gone, with usually a demo guy or two, and I pop the ceiling tile that the pendant is in. I spin it upright 200 degree with a cage, and then I move to the next one, and now the demo guys, laborers, will follow me taking the grid down, and they can only take it down up to the point that I make it that day. So you have upright protection where there's no grid and there's no ceiling tiles, and we keep the pendant protection, or you bring in a crew to do it all at once. The other way you could do it is that you could just remove all the ceiling tiles if you bring in a bunch of sprinkler guys and there's only a little demo crew. But basically, what I see is that they demo a space, the GC will come in, rip the whole ceiling down, and then they'll just leave the pendants. The pendants will be like 4 feet down from the deck, maybe even 10 feet sometimes.
That's what I was trying to bring up. I'm like, I saw that a lot in New York. They're 4 feet down from the ceiling. They're never going to go off.
That's just a NFPA 241 plan that was lost in translation, and all those heads should be up during the duration of construction.
Right.
So our thing is, so you're on committees, you've seen things get moved around and talked about. We want to make this change, or at least put awareness that this needs to be changed. Where does that even start? Because AHJs don't know. When we know that the AHJs,
we literally got to post this video and tag every fire department that we can think of and tag them on LinkedIn.
I honestly, you guys are, should be partnering up with the sprinkler company. They should be like learning from you guys of what you're doing, because, or engineers that have like a fire protection engineers that do some of this work, right? Where if you're doing that, you're going to get more attention to it. Because nothing against NFPA or anything, but their code cycle takes way too long. It's every 2 to 4 years. It's usually every 3 years, but it takes a while to get through, and there's a lot of back and forth, and it's a shit show sometimes, like just getting ideas thrown out there. So after that 3 years, for just say NFPA 25, we're on 2023. No jurisdiction will probably be on that for another, I don't know, couple years, maybe 5-6 years.
Right.
So then when it started, from the time it's adopted, it's like 8 years. So it doesn't change that quickly on the code side. So I think like bringing the attention to it, obviously, and maybe social media and marketing might be some of the ways to at least get some attention. You might not be able to change the code that quickly, but the NFPA does a great job with amendments, and they did it with fire pumps, right, where you don't have to go into the cabinet anymore because of the high voltage and everything.
Yeah.
But you got to get the message out there, and I think that you guys stepped on something.
It has to be forced. Like, you have to do this. So, as example, like my large contracts, I do a building. I have a estimating software where I can build it, like even from stub up, to ending, all the heads, all the pendants, all the sprinkler pipes, everything, right? But if I do a separate plan for 241, there's no way I'll win that bid.
Yeah, you usually bid that out separately. Like, so, I mean, and from my experience,
they'll be like, no, we're okay.
It's not all the time, but like, you're going to do a big building, everybody bids on doing the building, but then like putting the 241 plan and getting it up to that could be a whole different bid that you would put in. But what he's saying is basically, if nobody else in the area is putting that in their bid, then why would you buy it?
Why would they pay for that?
Yeah.
Well, it's not the code per the jurisdiction either, and I think the local and state fire sprinkler or fire protection associations, like where you guys are at, AFSA is great, NFSA is great, where and I was the executive director of the New York one, which was independent, and we worked directly with the FDNY on issues that were happening, and they kind of made their own code, and a lot of our board members from that association sat with the FDNY to make those changes. So, without associations, it's or obviously the code, it's tough to push it through those AHJs. But you got to bring it to the AHJ's attention. That's the number one thing, right? Yeah.
So the GC is actually in the very beginning, before you even get your building permit, you have to appoint FPPM, the fire. It's some kind of, it's a manager. I'm having a brain fart. The fire protection plan manager. FPPM, and it has to be someone who's going to be on site, because what companies will do is they'll pick like an office person. They'll always pick the same office person, and that's the FPPM who is in charge of the 241 plan.
Yep.
And so they're getting their building permit without having that plan, and then they're getting their sprinkler permit without having the 241 plan. I think it's just the knowledge. So what you're saying is basically you don't think that code is being implemented because they're so far behind. They're on 2013 or something.
Well, 241's not 13, it's not 25, it's not 72, which is fire alarm. So the HJ. So
what year did they come out with 241? That's something I should know.
I can look it up quick. But either way, like the local jurisdiction or the local city might, it's easier to go state, obviously, if you can get a state code adopted with 241. But yeah, it's kind of bringing it up to the jurisdiction itself. see where.
And what is the deal with, I asked this before, but why did we not just implement the newest version? We were just talking about this with Raquel.
The standard was established in 1933.
2009 is 241.
2009?
Yep. So they probably started
Oh,
working
this
on
is
2005.
That's what I mean. So, like, everybody should be implementing it. Who's still on 2009?
It started in Boston, I think, but New York had a big fire where a bunch of 4 firefighters died because during construction they cut a standpipe for the firefighters, and
They never made it.
Yeah, it was rough.
That's the story that we, that's a tough one. We just had the anniversary of that not too long ago, I believe, and the firefighters were up there, waiting for water, and the standpipe was cut many floors below them.
Yeah.
Awful. So, and that goes back to the United Standpipe Pack, to where it has to be a monitored dry standpipe.
Yep. Yeah. You know who's down at the conference with you guys? He's getting an award. Adam Levine. He's big. He was on the board with me in New York City. He's the owner of Capital Fire Sprinkler in New York, but he's newly on NFPA 14, which is standpipe, and he knows a lot about temporary standpipe. He'd be a good candidate for 241. I'm not nominating Adam if Adam's listening or listens to it at some point.
Oh, we're going to try to find him.
Oh, no. Now I'm going to ask you for his
tomorrow.
information.
Now we need to find him. So he's an exhibitor, or he's a vendor?
No, he's a contractor, but he's getting an award for Young Professional of the Year for AFSA. And, he's done a lot for the AFSA. He's done a lot for New York City. He's got a great business in New York. Third generation. I'm speaking for him. But,
that's awesome. I'm totally just neglecting all the comments. Sorry, guys. I know you guys are commenting like crazy. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us. Should I read a couple?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Where the hell are they?
Can you just go to the comments?
I don't
Comments?
know. I never watched this way. Live chat. Here we go. Wait, the chat has moved. Okay,
Whoa,
all right,
that's
bam.
cool.
There it is. We're in. They were legit holding hands at Harry Potter last night. Yo!
No way!
Raquel, you serious?
No way!
Damn, it's like that?
That's funny.
God, we were not. The ride was that close.
So at Universal, there's this bicycle ride, and it has a sidecar, and he's in the motorcycle up, spread out, and I'm not a small guy, and I'm in this little sidecar like this.
So good.
And he just could not.
I had to
stop
take a
laughing.
video. So I told my wife about it. I told my wife, I said we get to ride some rides, and she's like, which ones? And I told her, she's like, that's one of like the best rides there.
Yeah.
It has a sidecar. You got to put Brian in the sidecar. I'm like, bet. So like I
I
seen the
didn't
thing
know.
coming, so I knew I had to be in front
He's
because
like,
I had to
"Here,
get on
sit here."
first, and like so I got on. And he didn't even know it was planned, and he just like.
Oh, you got?
Big dude in this
Hopefully, you guys
little
got a
thing.
picture of that. Did you get a picture?
I think I did. I think I got. I think
you got. I think
some
that
videos
needs to
will
be
stored
posted.
for my story. That was an excellent time. Oh yeah, I did. Look at.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
my
had
goodness.
Bob Caputo on a few weeks ago. You got to meet Bob. He's the president of AFSA.
What is it?
The president of AFSA is Bob Caputo.
Okay.
He runs the event of AFSA. But he was talking. I had him on the last podcast for us, and he was talking about they were shutting down Universal, but you guys got like exclusive access or something.
Oh,
right?
Exclusive. It was like there was no one else there. We had the whole
Yeah.
place to ourselves.
Yeah, it was wild.
epic.
He was telling me about it.
I don't know if you'll be able to. Oh yeah, you can see.
That's me in the sidecar.
Look how much like lower he is.
And I couldn't fit in the thing. Like the sides of it, I was like this. It
That's
wasn't
funny.
made for me.
That was a sick ride. AFSA
Yeah,
put on
that
an
ride was
excellent
awesome.
party.
The party was awesome.
Shout out to AFSA for putting on a really good show. Appreciate it, and all the help we got from.
Yeah,
from
they were
people.
our first trade show as a company we went to, and it was it's always one we look forward to every year going back.
Yeah. Oh, we're definitely gonna be back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We gotta follow all of our rules, and hopefully they invite
Yeah,
us
we
back.
just had to not get kicked out, So
For what?
Well, we got like contracts now and non-disclosures and everything. We have to have interviewers sign, and we have to sign.
I know.
Just a little bit, like.
I saw it.
Yeah.
They thought I was coming down to do the podcast, and I was like, "No, I can't make it." But I was like, "Why am I?" Yeah. Anyway.
What are you gonna? It's their house. We'll play. We'll play their.
Yeah.
I do
exactly.
understand from a legal standpoint.
For
I
sure.
get it, but we just have to,
Brian might go off the rails and grab a water bottle and start crinkling it in the mic, and they're gonna be like, "Delete the video." Oh, this is awesome. Oh, great. Yeah. So we we had a busy day today.
Oh man,
we were there at 7:30 for the breakfast. Talked
meetings,
so many
networking.
people. Good breakfast, good lunch.
Yeah, we met so many great people.
Nah, that's great. It's are you guys doing another live from down there, or are you just grabbing video?
I don't know. I think I was gonna tell you. I think we should do something tomorrow because Chad's gonna be here.
We could.
Yeah, Chad is. He's an inspector, fitter. He has his backflow license. He has his extinguisher license.
Shout out to Chad.
Yeah,
he's flying
out
here right now.
Coachella. He's coming here from Coachella.
Flying
California.
from LA. I think he boarded at like 2 p.m. there.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
arriving at like 5:30 a.m.
Yeah, because it's like 4 hours behind, but it's also 4 hours, so it's like essentially an 8-hour trip.
That's nuts. That is
Yeah.
nuts.
Dedicated.
That's
So
nuts,
we
so-
could go live. So what I'm doing right now, you guys probably keep seeing me looking at my phone. I'm trying to get people in here, but I have the stream running and I'm listening. I want to make sure we're not at least our voice isn't choppy. It seems like maybe the video might be skipping here and there, but the audio sounds good, so that's important. But we will watch back, and if it's decent on this Wi-Fi, we can go live again.
Yeah.
Or we'll just go Instagram
Yeah, so we'll
live.
see how tonight will go.
I did one at NFPA in San Antonio, whatever it was, but I did it at a tequila bar. I did a live podcast,
Yeah.
and I had. And this is the only live one I think I did some at some of the shows where I'd walk around and like interview people at the booth, but I did it live, and it was a little choppy because
How'd
of the
you?
Wi-Fi.
What did you use to get it live?
I did Facebook Live, weirdly
okay.
enough. But you could, I guess, yeah, we haven't used Facebook in a while, but we did Facebook Live, but I think we grabbed the audio. I don't have the video from it because what I did, it was about corrosion of dry systems, right? Where you have nitrogen, you have compressed air, and you have this problem, like, is nitrogen better? Is compressed air better? The corrosion in the pipe, there's all this corrosion talk, like, there still is, right? So I wanted an engineer there, I wanted a contractor there, I wanted a manufacturer for nitrogen there, and I wanted a manufacturer for air compressors there.
Wow.
Because they kind of all had different opinions, and I wanted to get them all loose on tequila and have like a fight. It didn't work. Everybody started hugging each other, and everybody
awesome.
was agreeing. I'm like, it was
come
fun
on. The plan was ruined.
Crap. I'm always worried about if it's going to be too loud or not. When you're in an environment like that, is it too loud to actually do the pod?
It was loud. You hear the server coming over, but it was raw. Everybody liked that, right? It's I don't know. It's
That's
just,
what a lot of people say about our show. It's raw, it's real, it's live. There's mistakes. People say things.
It is authentic.
Yeah, it's authentic. It's something.
We bought a new mic today.
What'd you get?
I don't know. We got
It's a Razer Mini. It's a Razer. It's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, we got it
Nice.
from Target. I think it was what, 50, 80, 50 bucks.
A Razer Siren Mini. Just because I brought my headset and I thought
You'll see
my
Chris-
partner was going to bring us a boom mic, but
Yeah,
You'll
but
see
they
failed us.
Chris Logan will be down there with all his equipment. He's got like thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
he does have
Oh,
so
yeah.
much equipment.
We
If-
went and hung out with
if
him
we
earlier
could,
in the room.
if Target right across the street didn't have one, we were gonna go get one from him.
Be
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
hey,
I didn't. I thought I brought a lot of shit. He's got a lot of shit. He's
Yeah.
also at the AFSA venue, and we're like 10 minutes away.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
which isn't
Whatever.
bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You
I wish
don't
you
get
were
caught
down
at
here,
you,
man.
you don't get caught at the bar. Highly recommend going. It's usually like one of the big manufacturers kind of throws down their credit card, and it's usually a pretty good time.
Yeah, what, like at the venue at the bar or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could head over there after this, but we kind of got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a
Yeah.
long day, so we got to pick up Chad at 5:30 in the morning, and then we're gonna
man.
bring him back to the hotel. We're gonna get him some breakfast, a drink, and then let him put down his stuff. If he wants to take a shower or change, whatever he wants to do, and then we're gonna head over for the networking on breakfast.
Nice. Who Did you guys get sponsored by anybody?
We've sat down with some companies.
Not this trip. This trip's not.
this trip.
Oh, as far as like who sent
Yeah,
us? Yeah, Dope and Tape did. So
AFSA
Right.
was very helpful getting us in the event and getting us the press passes and all that.
Yeah.
they really took
That's
care of
great.
us. But yeah, we had to pay for our hotel. Well, I guess the condo, and then we had to pay for the flights and then food and all that stuff. But we made it work.
Yeah, that's great. Now, then that means you don't have to tiptoe around any questions, right? That's why I always
right.
feel like if somebody comes on the podcast, I don't want them like giving me a sales pitch, right? I want them to talk like real life, real problems, real issues. So
Right.
And that's kind of why we start and we do the show as an interview. We want to know your story. So even if someone comes from a huge manufacturer, like you were talking about Tyco and Viking, right? They come on that. We still want to hear the guest story.
They started somewhere.
Yeah.
How'd you get to where you're at? And that's always and we always say someone brought you in.
yeah,
And because
Yeah.
some people that watch the show that are in the field currently or wanting to maybe transition to something else or wanting to go into the manufacturer, like they're like, how do I do that? And then they'll be able to see the story. Like they'll hear about yours and you just happen to be, asked. And then there's some other stories, but that gives them a almost like a path,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. It's everybody's stories a little bit. What about you guys? How'd you get? I mean, I'm sure you
He's
talked
third
about it
generation.
before.
I'm second generation.
Oh man.
So I
Wow.
think I was hanging pipe at 15. You
I was prepping hangers at like 10.
at 10.
Wow.
Pops was using me, but then the jobs got done quick, so they paid off well. We get to go to Disney and
Oh, that's cool. My dad was like, "All right, put this hard hat on and this vest, and don't talk to nobody. Get on that ladder."
You're
That was
tall.
it.
You're like, he looks a little. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
In my father's heyday, it was like Lowe's, Home Depot, Stop and Shops, like all those big warehouses were going up in the early 2000s, and my father was getting them all. So like on a Saturday, it'd be like my mom, my father, myself, and like the dogs, and we would be like prepping hangers.
That's
We'd be
crazy.
putting
Yeah, there
beamers
was a
on
lot
and
of those
putting the
box
rings
stores
on,
going
and
on.
Pops would be stuffing the bar joists, and then he was able to do these warehouses sometimes in 1 week. Like just load it
Wow.
up Monday through Friday and have it like 90%.
Wow.
But
What
I'll
company
kind
was
of go
that?
through my story real quick, and then Bobby, you can kind of go through yours.
Yeah, hit it quick.
Yeah, so 15 did whatever they wanted me to do. Fire alarm, sprinkler. Went on the road with the guys too during the summertime, and then I went to car sales for a while. Got into I was the sales manager at a dealership, and then I was never home, but I got kids, and I was just that dad that was off on Tuesday, and I called my dad back. I was like, all right, I'm ready to get back in it. I'm ready to do this. And he said, all right, but you can't come work with me. You're not coming in here as Todd's son. You got to go somewhere else. He said, let me make some phone calls. I'll get you a job. And then I was at work the next week at a different company. He said, all right, be an apprentice here, earn your stripes, and then you can come work with me. And then after about 6 to 8 months, my dad dropped down to an inspector role, and became his helper. He was my foreman.
Oh man.
Yeah, and he almost fired me on the day one, but
That's funny.
but it was good. He taught me. He was super hard on me. He was very direct, and it was the best thing for me. And that's what kind of started my career in inspections. Did it for about a decade, and then now I'm going into business consulting, and then inspections and sales, and that role is fun. And where I am now with Patriot Fire here in Georgia, they kind of like, in a way, is I need to be challenged. They just took my leash off, and they're like, sell anything you want.
Right.
Go. And then it's been a blast. So that's kind of like my story really fast.
When he says sell, doesn't it sound like sale?
Look, we had this conversation earlier. So he's from up north. I say sell. Sell is fucking sell. You
He
sell
says
this-
sale and sell. It sounds exactly the same. So
That
he's
is
like,
true.
oh, it was, it
That's
was.
my accent.
I forget the exact quote, but
You
should have
guys
said
both
sell,
have
and he said
accents,
sale.
come
I'm like,
on.
what the hell are you
said
saying?
sell.
You sound funny, bro. It's sell. He's like, that's what I said.
So I think so the conversation was like, we were talking about all these things, and then I was like, I'm down here for a week essentially. And he's like, what do you think you're going to do this month? And I was like, well, I think I should sell like maybe around 700,000.
Sail.
And he
I
was
should
like,
sail 700,000. Like, you on
he
a
said,
boat?
what did you say?
You on a boat?
You said sail?
He's sailing away. Come sail away. Come sail away. Anyways, I after high school, I went through the plumbing trade in high school, freshman to senior year, because there wasn't a fire sprinkler trade. There wasn't I went through a vocational school, and there wasn't a fire protection shop. So, and I knew I was going to be a sprinkler fitter. My father told me, you're going through the plumbing trade so you can get acclimated with the machine, the fitting allowances, pulling wrenches. That helped tremendously, even though it's like, people say it was like wasted plumbing hours. I was like halfway to being a plumber. But it helped me out a lot, being able to be on the first day. I already knew the machine. I knew how to pull the wrenches and which way to put them. And my father gave me 1 week off after high school. Like, we graduated high school, I had 1 week to party, and then I've been working full-time since. That was June 2008.
Crazy.
But he was able to put me to work as temporary help at like age 17 between junior and senior year. That little 3 month, the summer, basically summer. I worked for 3 months, just making a killing and getting into the groove. But my father took me right under his wing. You know, I was like right in the passenger seat, and he was like basically the boss at the time. So I was able to, I was just like able to just see all like the top dog shit right away. Be next to him as he's answering the good calls, as he's answering the stupid calls, and realize like, all right, you don't want to be calling the boss for something dumb because it just really pisses him off. Right. And it was a little bit weird. That's probably why your dad didn't want you to go right there. It's like because the guys were, everybody was cool, but it was like my dad was the boss really, so it was kind of like.
Well, that's kind of how my dad was too. That they would be different around me.
But I knew that I had to like prove myself. I wasn't like the kid that just like showed up and like my dad was the boss. I was still trying. I was out working everybody that I could. I started
similar.
in the non-union. We were at Environmental Fire Protection. It was like one of the largest on the East Coast at the time. Maybe even the country. Like they were huge. It's shops in 4 different states. But it was a competitive environment. And they would load the jobs with apprentices. Like you'd have a couple fitters, there'd be like 10 apprentices, and we would set the machines up so you'd be dueling machines. Yeah. And like you would be right next to another apprentice, almost at your level, trying to thread the list faster than he is. You know, it's like it just made you faster. It just made everybody was just trying to be better. You know, but it was like it wasn't a enemy competition. We were all friendly. It was great. It was good. It was good learning, and I was able to get into the union in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, I jumped with both feet at that opportunity, and that's been great. The jobs basically just got extremely bigger.
Oh yeah. It's a nice lock on Boston there too, right?
Yeah, well, and like basically every job you do has got a fire pump. Where when I was in the non-union, we would get away with a lot of 2-story buildings with a 6-inch underground wouldn't need a pump. So it was pretty cool being able to see a pump on every job and just the magnitude of these jobs and. And then here we are. I got this guy calling me on Instagram one day.
Yeah.
And then
this is what we're doing now.
Dope and tape.
And traveling to trade shows. I mean, you know, soon you'll be going to the extinguisher trade shows. You know.
But this is still crazy. Like we keep telling ourselves, "Can you believe we're doing this?" No, I can't. Like I can't believe we're doing this.
It is crazy.
But we're definitely a lot better than we were at NFPA. Because that was our first time. We were like
very caught off guard.
Yeah, we were like Will Ferrell when he's accepting an award, and he's like, "What do I do with my hands?" Like we had no idea what to do. We're just like, "All right, let's just do our best," you know.
Yeah.
But now we have an idea.
Well, I mean, you went to the biggest show to start. NFPA is the biggest, and it's overwhelming. I think going there your first time. But honestly, what you guys are doing is exactly what everybody needs, right? I think the fitters, technicians, inspectors, they all need a place to go. And there's stuff like ours, and Chris is a fitter, but he's a great fire protection engineer. And there's really, before Chris, there's not many. You guys are, I think there's only like 3 or 4 of us, right? Podcast?
I think there's only 3. It's just us 3. It's us.
Well, there's another one, Gus Gallardi. I don't know if he still does his anymore, but he was more like heavy engineering. But I think he stopped his. But the manufacturers are getting into it now, which is which is good. I think NFPA's got one, but
Oh, we just met.
NFPA does have
we just
one.
met Joe Meyer.
yeah,
Joe?
Joe's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I mean,
Yeah.
a Meyer Fire. That's not a podcast though, is it? It's like
I don't think Joe has one. He comes out.
University.
He has a newsletter. He has a university. I think I've had him on. Yeah, I've had him on before.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's it's good being able to collaborate and work amongst each other.
Yeah, and talk about what you guys want to talk about, right?
That's it. Whatever the industry wants to hear, whatever bothers you or whatever you like or whatever you don't like, we can talk about whatever we want.
Anything.
Sometimes we go way off script, and that doesn't really do well. But we can.
Well,
do
that's
that
the problem.
too.
So that's why we cannot do just an episode with me and him, because we'd end up talking about craziness,
guns and
conspiracy theories, and like we just
Right.
go way over here,
He said conspiracy series right there.
Theories.
Yeah, I know.
Theories.
You said series. Though.
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to say. This is great being right here with you. Huh?
Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
think
wish
this
we
is
could do
hilarious.
this all the time. We're
Right?
just separated by what, a 3-hour plane ride?
Yeah, you got to move to the Great Northeast.
No, I don't.
It's so
I'm not
much
gonna do the
safer.
snow. But I do want to go up to Boston, come visit you during the winter time, because I've never really seen snow. Like
What?
Georgia gets. I think I've seen like maybe 5 inches.
I'll put 2 new shear pins in the snowblower, and I'll fill up the
And then
and you
go explore. Have all
That's
you
it.
want, huh?
I'll go and hang out with the girls inside, and you can snow blow the driveway.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a snowmobile. I'm talking about you clearing my driveway.
Yeah, it is. I don't want to do that. Yeah. So,
If you're going up to Boston, I'm only an hour and a half south, so
Oh, okay.
sweet.
Where are you?
I'm in Mystic, Connecticut.
Oh, okay. You're right there.
Yeah, not essentially Rhode Island.
That'd be
Heading up-
awesome. We can
heading
go
up to
and get
Providence
together and
tomorrow.
do a double show.
Yeah, we'll have to invite Kev. You know Big Kev, American
No.
Fire Pump.
No, I don't know.
He's
Ken.
awesome. No, he's out of Cincinnati.
No, he's not. He's out of
Really?
Connecticut.
Is it Connecticut?
Yeah.
What's it
Kev,
called? American Fire Pump?
American. Well, on Instagram. Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure you can find him on Google too. 'Cause
American
he's
Fire
a big one.
Pump's his company.
Yeah.
That'd
his
be
name
that'd
on
be
Instagram.
bad. That'd be bad if he was a customer of ours, right?
His name is on. Huh? Yeah,
I
American
said
Fire
that'd be
Pump.
bad if a customer was ours.
Right. Who?
Big Kev. Yeah, he's down in Connecticut. We could definitely do
He's
something.
awesome. I call him a lot. Him
Oh, we
and
could
Wilson
we could
Cross.
actually probably meet up at the Ardco warehouse.
Oh, that right.
Huh? Could do
yeah.
something there.
Hey, I just got a message from Jeff Piro.
Yep.
Matthew Bass tossed something in the comment. I guess you guys know Matthew Bass.
Yeah,
Bass.
I think so. Yeah,
He's-
he's
he's
always
like a
in here,
bit-
isn't he?
Yeah, he's always in there. He's a lot on Facebook. He gives a lot of great feedback and
Say hi to
Q&A.
Drew for me. Hey, Matthew Bass says hi, Drew.
He's coming on the podcast in a couple weeks, actually.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
So you keep bringing up Facebook, and not to say
generation
anything
takes
bad
over.
about Facebook, but you better watch what you're saying, because you can be attacked. Like, it is like the Wild West in those sprinkler.
It really is.
Rooms.
I am really bad. Kevin's a customer of ours, Big Kev. My
Yeah?
bad. Yeah.
My bad.
Sorry, Kevin. I didn't sell that one, I guess.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people.
You got a lot of customers, but so I feel like Facebook is a place where people go and get it destroyed in the comments.
Like complainers hang out on Facebook,
man.
I think.
So we have
I love it.
Discord. So Discord's an app or a page, and it's like a forum page. It's very easy, and it's kind of like Facebook, but it's great, guys. And we're in there every day. I think you and me have notifications right now from it.
Yeah,
And
they're in there.
there's stuff every single day, but everybody's awesome. Like, you never get attacked. And if anybody does attack, we kick them out. And over this whole time that we've had this
We've
show,
only booted
the
one
Discord, one guy. That's it.
Because we
Awesome
don't want to
guys.
be disrespecting an apprentice
Yeah, we want
that
you to
has
feel
a,
safe.
that has a valid question. He's
Yeah.
trying to get an answer. I mean, because the answer that I always got recently would be from one of my mentors. He would say, "Well, did you look in the book?" And I'd be like, "Well," he'd be like, "Well, what? You're just looking for the quick answer, right? Why don't you check the book first?" I'm like, "Damn it,
Dang it.
damn it, Bob."
Gotcha. He's
I'm
got
gonna
you.
try to get. I'm gonna try to get him on the show when I get back to work.
I think we've been kind of just stuck at like 70 people.
What?
Right?
Oh, in Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
Discord's like
that's
right
the
around
problem
70
with
people,
Discord,
but it's wicked
right?
supportive.
It's tough. It's I don't fully agree with all of what Facebook does, right? As a societal thing, right? What it does to young kids, whatever, and adults, and just the misinformation out there. But the groups I've found very valuable. There's a lot of great questions out there, and there's some, some bad stuff, but again, it's a wide variety. I can go into a fire alarm group. I can go into an extinguisher group. And there's really legit questions and collaboration. And there's just more people. That's the thing. It's
On
Discord
Facebook,
yeah. Discord's great. It's just not everybody's on it. That's the
It's
thing.
tough.
We have 70
Most
people.
people say like, what is Discord? And it's like, well, you got to download an app and you got to make an account. But
And they're like,
Yeah.
But maybe if we say Discord like 24 more times, then someone will do it, right?
yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
we're on
maybe.
Facebook. We're definitely there. The problem is like we were streaming to Facebook, and I would share the live to a few different sprinkler pages, and they would like attack me. Why are you sharing this here? Like, oh, geez, my bad. Thought this was a sprinkler page. We're talking about sprinklers. Come join us. And
Yeah, that's weird.
So we just like.
I've been south, and like
push it
any
off.
complaint that we've ever gotten has come from Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, what you guys are doing with the podcast, I mean, just continue putting the podcast up, and YouTube's great. Get the comments and continue with Discord, but
That live
Again,
chat.
yeah, it's nice. Yeah, YouTube's been, we take and clip up we're starting to clip up our old podcasts, just like into little bites, right? Like Joe Rogan does, where they put
A
it.
little bite, and you
little
put it on
short.
Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, by Instagram, or just keep it on YouTube.
A YouTube short as well, yeah.
And you can tag it to LinkedIn or whatever. We're big on LinkedIn, obviously, because of, the
Business.
the business
Yeah.
side.
I'm new to LinkedIn, but I'm just I'm on there messing with people.
I have more followers on LinkedIn than I do Instagram.
Because you post there every day,
yeah.
right? If you posted on Instagram, people would follow you.
Yeah.
I just go on LinkedIn and I do what I do on Instagram. I don't know if it's right, but sometimes it gets a lot of likes, and we're just gonna keep doing it.
No, I think both is great. Yeah, there's different algorithm tricks.
Yeah,
but
that's it. Everything's got a different algorithm. I'm just trying to get into it. What do we got? We got a NFPA 25 Inspectors Forum has 7,700 members. Nice
Yes.
Fire Alarm Online has over 11,000 members. That's good info, Matthew Bass.
Matthew's big on there. He's I'll call him an influencer. I know he doesn't like being called an influencer, but he is.
Yeah, so I want to be added to those groups on the Dope and Tape Facebook.
You should. They'll let you in.
I'm gonna request after this, Matt, if you want to let us in.
Yeah, I have my notifications on.
Damn, there's so many comments that we missed. Do you have a mullet?
Who said that?
Paul, our dude Paul from the Mountain Man Paul says,
Yeah.
"Does Drew have a mullet?"
No, it's just like
It's just long.
medium hair. Yeah, long hair.
Yeah.
My father-in-law got me into the industry.
That's awesome.
I appreciate you guys in the comments. I'm sorry I'm not reading them. It's just not my typical setup. I don't want to be staring at my phone more.
What
than
I
have
would
to.
like to get is, and I think I mentioned to you guys before, but I think it got lost. But I would like somehow an example of Inspect Point, and not just for me, but maybe for Bobby too, because we're getting asked all the time. Hey, what do you think about CRNs? What about inspection softwares? What have you used? What do you use now? What do you think? And if we can get an example so we can talk more on it, because I've seen building reports. I've used it for years. I know Salesforce. I used it for years. And I want to talk on the Inspect Point, but I just haven't had my hands on it. So we would love for you.
I'll give you a free copy just to play around with it. Yeah, you probably need a little bit of training, but it's cool. It's great from the fitter side. It's also great from the office side, right? The sales side as well, because it essentially takes NFPA 25, 72, whatever you're doing, but 25 is complicated, right? Whether it's a dry system, a standpipe, or whatever, it takes those deficiencies according to the frequency. You essentially answer pass, fail, yes or no. Immediately, you can tag it critical, non-critical, impairment, obviously per the whatever the deficiency is, but it essentially pushes that right into a proposal for your customer to fix it. Now they can choose to not fix it, but that if you can do that within like literally a minute, they're going to probably accept and fix that right there. So it's got a really streamlined workflow, and yeah, I'd love to give you. We always want the feedback too. That's what we've prided ourselves in since day one. Is we're not, I knew the equipment side for fire sprinklers, but you guys are doing the work out there, right? You're in it day to day. So essentially, our whole platform's been built off the feedback from the industry. Obviously,
That's
of the
awesome.
code base, but we want the feedback. We're the techie software engineers, not me, but the rest of the team. They know how to put the workflow together. But their ideas, they have some crazy ideas, but it's like, oh, that doesn't fit with the industry. Let's ask some power users.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be great. I'd love to poke around on that thing. I do get a lot of questions about it.
Yeah, and we just, a lot of people come to us with advice, and we love it, and we accept all questions and
All
and
criticism too. We'll take any criticism.
Yeah,
whether it's
absolutely.
constructive
Criticism, give it to us.
That's it.
Absolutely. If you think we can do something better, but you don't like this, whatever, give it to us. But we also, we want to be able to answer those questions well-roundedly.
Chad, it's the fire extinguisher on the table for me. Yo, what up, Chad?
What's up, Chad?
You must be in the air. The Wi-Fi is good up in the air watching the show.
We have to leave it here for him. Huh?
That's it. It's got a dope and tape sticker on it now, kid.
The maids are gonna come in here and be like,
I'm like, we need something. We can't just like
Going
have just
on.
a couch.
Yeah.
So has anybody brought this up yet? By the way, I got a couple minutes. I gotta scoot.
Yeah.
But, so dope and tape, right? Obviously, it's a controversial thing, but
It's the right way. We can get right to it.
Okay. But what about hemp? What about hemp?
Hemp?
So
I didn't even know that was a thing until I think we started this
Yeah,
podcast.
we already started
and
it.
I get the over the pond, from the guys from Australia will send me videos
in
of
the
them
UK.
putting it on.
Yeah.
Didn't we get a message yesterday?
I think I just got a message yesterday saying that it's
more reliable.
it's more reliable and it's faster.
But I don't know how it's
But
faster.
I've never
you have to,
used it.
Pull it.
It looks
It's
like
probably
you
a
just guys are
strand,
stuck
right?
in the old times.
But my tape is boom done.
Yeah. Tape's fast.
Yeah. Dope on the first, and then tape.
I'd love to go and find that
Rip it
comment
off.
right now, but there's
So-
so many.
Do y'all have dope and tape there? Like, can you get it?
Where in the UK?
Yeah, or in the UK or in Canada or.
They must have Teflon. Well, Teflon
He's in
they're weird
Connecticut.
about in Europe. I'm in Connecticut.
Yeah.
He's thinking.
Well, he was talking about. I don't know. I was thinking. All right, let's move on. So let's say I don't know if they can get that in Europe or in Canada.
Where the fuck are you from?
Teflon is looked down upon in Europe. Maybe I have no.
He's like, hey,
I
Drew,
don't-
you got
I-
any
it was-
Pepin soap up in the UK? He's just told us he's from Connecticut. I love it.
No, not in the UK. That threw me off. But yeah, I was thinking something else.
Who?
But anyway.
Yeah. So someone definitely just yesterday told me because dope and tape. Everybody talks about that, and we had the Viking pipe fitter on. That's his Instagram handle, and he was on episode 79, and he works for Viega, and he set up a thing. He actually just collaborated with us on Instagram today, where he did no sealant whatsoever, pumped it up, and only hold like 100 pounds. Then he did dope only. He couldn't get it to 200.
It was leaking everywhere.
Then he did tape and dope, and it held till like 800 psi.
750.
And so obviously we're in the comments. We wanted to do dope and tape and pump it to like 1,000.
Oh wow.
But that's a pretty cool, that's something that everyone wants to talk about. So in the comments, I think he's gonna have to do more because now people want to see dope and tape
And then
versus tape and dope.
But
And
it's clear. There's no way that
pump that baby
that
up.
tape and
I
then dope
think that
wins.
both. I think if you have them both, it's better than having one. And I like to keep it if I want the apprentice to get a bunch of shit ready for me, and I don't want my dope to dry out. I don't want the dope to be on the floor, on the subfloor, and the tape keeps it nice under there.
And
when
then
I
also
worked
the
for
dope does not-
Tyco,
Huh?
when I worked for Tyco and Viking, they always said one or the other though.
Well,
Like
that's
as
what
a
it technically
manufacturer.
says, but obviously for this with this test that's false.
Well, no, because we just reached out. We just had a question that we submitted through our buddy Josh.
Right.
And he asked
NFPA.
if dope and tape was okay, and they came back with it depends on what the manufacturer says. So like if you're putting
of course, right? A little easy out.
If you're putting black iron together, right? Like dope and tape. But like if you got a reliable head and reliable says to only put one or the other, then it allegedly should only put one or the other.
Yeah,
but if I was going to do one or the other, it would 100% be tape for sure. Like if that was either or.
If you were gonna pick one, you'd do tape.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, we're all done. No?
Yeah, I would do tape.
I'd just do dope. If I can only pick one, I'm picking super dope.
You don't let it dry.
No, super dope. Crank it in one more time for Dougie. Put it around one extra time.
I do tape.
Tape only.
Well, you also tape and dope your head.
Psychopath. Yeah, and then I put them in to a perfect tightness.
I dope and tape all my fittings, and then when it comes to heads, it's just tape.
Oh, I don't like that.
Why don't you like it?
I don't like that.
It works.
Oh, Big Russ is emailing.
I've never had a leak.
Me neither.
Aren't you a sales guy now though, Brian?
Yeah, that's why he doesn't have leaks.
I can still move a wrench. I still go out to service calls. I did a service call with flip-flops.
He just said I could sail with a wrench. You're going to grab his wrench, he's going to sail away again.
But I went to a service call at like 2 a.m. and I was at a...
Daryl was just commenting about that. Daryl Rich.
I know. I ended up having to go... I was at a hotel with my wife. We were going on to a winery, and I was at a hotel for like a little getaway for the weekend. I get a call from one of my big customers in Atlanta, huge high rise, and it was a big problem. And then the guy that was on call, he's been out since 5 a.m. It's like almost 3 in the morning or whatever it was. I mean, it was. So I told my guys, like, man, just go home, get you some coffee, get you a sandwich, change your clothes, whatever you want to do. I'll head out there.
I got my flip flops.
Yeah, I had flip flops, shorts, and a t-shirt. Went out there with a wrench.
I love it.
So yeah, I'm a sales guy, but don't get in my way. I'll get out there.
Yeah. If you can sell it quick and fix it, right? Do it.
That's it. Love it. Well, listen, we appreciate you coming on, man.
No, this is great. I'm appreciative of what you guys are doing.
We got to keep in touch and collaborate more, and we're gonna we'll definitely be at the Inspect Point booth. I would like to go. The plan is to hopefully get there a little bit early tomorrow and maybe get some candids of the vendors that we like the most getting set up.
Cool. Yeah, do it. I think PJ, Bill, and Andrew's kind of our up and comer. Chat with those guys, and yeah, we'll get you hooked up with a copy of the software too.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you.
Be excellent.
At least
then I can answer some questions like firsthand. I'm not an inspector, but I'm sure I can poke around on it and figure some stuff out.
Yeah, I can look at it.
Right.
You can look at it as a fitter.
Yeah, that's it.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It essentially puts 25 right in front of you. So
right,
like you understand sprinklers, so it's pretty self-explanatory.
No, we're definitely gonna.
Yeah, I want to see the layout, and I also want to see how if the transition. If I build a report and build a building, if I go into it and I transition from an annual inspection to a 5-year or to a 3-year full trip or to something else, I want to see how that transition is inside the software. So that's what I'm curious.
No transition. Literally, you click the frequency and it populates.
See, that's awesome. And that is something, like I said, like building reports is terrible about.
That's gibberish to me.
Yeah, I'll teach you, son.
Wow. Keep it up, guys. Have fun this tomorrow and this weekend, and I'm sure maybe you guys could come on, the fire protection podcast at some point too.
Yeah, we should.
Absolutely.
Let's set it up. We'll definitely come on. We'd love to.
Yeah, let's do it in a couple months or something.
We appreciate all the viewers. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you go follow the Fire Protection Podcast and Inspect Point. And if you are watching and you're at AFSA and you see us tomorrow, please say hi. We want to talk to you.
Say hello.
If you want to do an interview,
buy
let
you
us
guys
know.
a beer
We're ready
too.
for that too.
Buy him a beer, please.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
That's
it.
it.
And another thing, all of our content from our live shows, if you want to take snippets and use it for anything you want to do it. All we ask is that you mention us.
That's it.
Awesome.
All right, man.
Love
we
it.
appreciate your time.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Enjoy. See you guys.
All right, see you.
Have a good one.